Wyndham Basketball Association recently celebrated its 50th anniversary at a glittering evening that also took in the association's annual awards night. Adrian Giblin delighted the crowd in attendance at the Werribee Italian Social Club with a colourful account of the association's first 50 years.
This actually might be a little bit difficult to do because I'm just sitting over there reading what I've written and I've left page 2 at home. So somewhere between 1992 and 1995, nothing happened, alright, so just remember that. Firstly, hello, yes, my name is Adrian. I hope everyone's having a good evening. It's been a great night so far. I've actually loved going over and having a look at a lot of the memories that have been pinned up on the board. And for those people who have kept that stuff over the years, thank you. Because it's absolutely something that I love having a look at, and hopefully everyone here is getting some enjoyment out of it. That's not page 2. So yes, it's been a great night so far. I just hope that my next 5 or 10 minutes I don't stuff this night completely up with what I'm about to say. Wednesday night I was asked if I would like to talk tonight. I didn't have to think very long before I said yes, but as we started to talk, I actually wasn't sure whether they asked me to talk or I just said, I'm going to talk. So it was great having a chat and just the 4 of us on the Skype just reminiscing about some of the things that the club have done, achieved over the 50 years. I need to say this, I'm not being controversial or anything along those lines, but if I do call Wyndham Basketball Werribee, and if I do make reference to the Devils, it's only because when I was playing and coaching and grew up, that was my home. That's where I played. I played domestic for Laverton Eagles. I played rep squad for Werribee Basketball. I was a little devil. And my very first basketball coach is sitting over there, and you will notice that over the next 13 minutes, I will adjust my glasses. My left ear is exactly 1 inch higher than my right ear. And that's because when I grew up, I was a snot-nosed little bugger. And the only way that the basketball coach, Doc, who's over there, the only way he could get any message through my thick skull was to grab my ear and open it up as much and talk quietly, yeah right, into my ear. Doc was one of the reasons why I kept playing basketball. I played tennis as a kid and I swam and I played footy. But he had a massive influence in not only my basketball journey, but hundreds of kids and adults over many, many years at Laverton Eagles, many, many years at Werribee Basketball, and he's a life member, and he's someone that I love because of what he's done for me. This is where I need page 2. So after our chat with PJ, Daniela and Mario, well Mario actually didn't say much. Jonesy and I just got on a roll and we just started talking about everything, but it triggered a lot of emotions. Just talking, and when I hung up the phone, my wife said to me, "Is everything alright?" I said, "Yeah, why?" She goes, "A bit red in the eyes." I said, "Oh, really? Not sure why." So they just asked me to talk, I think they asked me, just asked me to talk on the 50th anniversary of Wyndham / Werribee Basketball. I never once thought at any stage that I would get this opportunity to stand up here and express how I feel about the club that means so much to me. So I started playing around 1982, give or take. The rec centre, yes. The rec centre was 3 courts. We would drive from, I lived in Laverton. We would train for basketball in Altona, and we would play in Werribee. So half of my life was spent in cars, driving around in basketball, and I'm sure everyone around here right now can feel the pain. Traffic, Hoppers Crossing, through Werribee when the road works, all that type of stuff. As the club was getting bigger, the Werribee was getting bigger, the roadworks were getting worse. On occasion, we were lucky enough to play at the rec centre as a 12-year-old or the 14-year-old. Werribee Rec Centre was the mecca. It was the basketball universe for a 14-year-old kid. It was 3 courts, noise, there was St Peter's, there was Iramu, there was Epsom Rovers, there was my club, Labrador Eagles, and everyone just blended in. It was just like a symphony of noise, buzzers, whistles, squeaking shoes, and every cheering parent barracking for their kids. It was truly a wonderful place to grow up. I once described Werribee basketball as the village I grew up in. That person was kind enough to say that I was the idiot of that village. So, and I enjoyed that. I didn't mind that. On the odd occasion, we would play our domestic basketball at Altona High. Jonesy mentioned it earlier, that because the basketball stadium, the kids were coming from everywhere to play basketball, and it sounds like it's happening again. We had to play at Altona. Doc's probably going to kill me after this, but it would be an under-12s game or an under-14s game, and Doc would coach, and he would say to us, "Quick, we've got to get to Werribee." And the referee of the year is Pete Smith. We would get thrown into a car. Doc had this old VK Commodore wagon, and he'd throw 6 of us into the car, or 7 kids into the car, bags full of basketballs. He'd pick up 4 or 5 other kids on the way, and there'd be 13 or 14 of us jam-packed like sardines into the back of this VK Commodore, and we'd go flying down the old back roads past Westbourne Grammar, dust and dirt flying everywhere, and we would make it to Werribee Basketball Stadium or the Rec Centre. We'd make it with 3 minutes to spare. I was like, right, let's go and play another game. So, but that's how it was. We all lived, we all survived, we all made the journey in cars. The Rec Centre, as I said before, it was our home. It was absolutely our home. And there's some people in this place who looked after us. Saturday morning would be domestic. Sunday morning would be rep squad training. Sunday afternoon would be development squad training or a game. And then Sunday night, my mum would play or my sisters would play. So we would get to the basketball stadium at 8 o'clock on a Sunday morning. I see a lot of people shaking their heads going, yeah, I know how you feel. And you'd get home at 9 o'clock at night. And your diet consisted of, big laughs on table 2. The diet consisted of whatever you had. Now I'm in trouble. The diet consisted of breakfast, red frogs from the canteen from Ann Bartlett or Mark or someone that was working in the canteen at the time. And then lunchtime would be chips and gravy from Captain Chook, or peas and gravy from Captain Chook. And then I'd watch Mum play, and then my dad Jock, he would drive us all home. It was a stinking hot stadium during summer. I mean stinking hot. You used to open up the doors, the double doors at the back, just to get some fresh air in across court 2 and 3. And it was great. I love it. I look back now to see that's great. During winter, it was freezing cold. Absolutely freezing cold. And the roof would leak. Imagine playing in a basketball stadium where a roof would leak. Yeah, that was a bit of a dig too. But it was our stadium. It was something that we were proud of. our rep squad games when we'd go and play at the rec centre, court 1, or when you got to under 18s, or for some of us who are lucky enough to represent wherever you're at a senior level, you get to play on court 23, the court that runs across court 2 and 3. And part of your warm-up was move all the effing chairs, sweep the floor, file out the backboards, move the score bench back. Right, you ready to play? Yeah, we're ready to go. And that's what it was, but we all did it together. And I think the one thing I've learnt from my time was how everybody got along. There was no shit, excuse the French, there was no rubbish. It might have been the odd occasion, but we were oblivious to it because we were trapped inside our basketball stadium enjoying what we wanted to do. As I said, the rec centre was home to Werribee basketball. And in 1989, a regional competition started called CVIBL, Country Victorian Invitational Basketball League. There's a couple of photos of the very first team that played in 1989. There's a couple of members of that team in the room tonight, and I was just, well, we were all kids, we were all pretty young. But the one thing I love about that photo is that every Monday night at A-grade men, every player who played in that team played A-grade men, domestically, locally, local kids, come through, represent the club. We end up playing finals, Final Four weekends and things like that. But it's just got bigger and bigger and bigger. The club's got bigger. When they opened the stadium, I couldn't believe what I was walking into. Eagle Stadium, named after my domestic basketball club. That's not in here, I just made that up. But it was an incredible place to be. It was an incredible privilege to represent Werribee in CVIBL. We travelled to Mildura on double-decker buses. Double-decker bus. 38 seats up the top, 12 seats down the bottom, 4 people sitting up the top, 46 of us trying to get on the car table downstairs. And that was 9 hours, 10 hours up to Mildura. Go up there, get beat by 50, get on the bus, come back home, everyone's still playing cards. It was a community. And what I've learnt tonight is that community is still ongoing, it's still there. Lots of new clubs I haven't, and I apologise, I live in Rosebud now. If you want to come to Rosebud, leave now, you'll get there Monday. The roadworks are horrendous, 2.5 hours to get here, but it's been worth every second. Lots of new clubs, lots of new faces. 4 young people coaching. I coach now, I'm not young. I'll give you some advice, you'll get old quick. In 1992, after 3 or 4 years of representing Werribee in the rec centre, the Werribee Basketball Association built 3 courts. This sound familiar? Jonesy literally has given my speech tonight. I was sitting there and I'm just ticking off. He spoke about that, I can't talk about that, can't talk about that, can't talk about that. But I am going to talk about 1992 when the new stadium opened. The expansion saw the club it was incredible to watch. The pride people had walking down the tunnel from the rec centre, through the double doors and into 3 brand new courts and a canteen, shining, glistening, no chalk marks from coaches, not a technical foul called in the places yet. And there it was, this brand new 3-court stadium. And when I was 21, I was 21, wasn't playing senior basketball anymore, gone and played footy, but I was still so proud of what the basketball club had done. It's a massive thing. Now, you walk into 12 courts and stuff, is it 12? 12 courts, and it's incredible to see. When we had the opening, I was blown away with the facility that you people have got now. Don't take it for granted. It's incredible. It's probably the best stadium I've walked into. In 1989, I've kind of gone back a little bit here. The CIBL had lots of different name changes over the year. It had an identity crisis. It really didn't know who it wanted to be. It didn't know whether it wanted to be Big V. It didn't know whether it wanted to be VBL or ABA or any one of those 10 different things that it's been. But it's known now as Big V. And the club still is a dominant force. You know, G's girls winning championship, or Billy Alco's girls winning championship this year. Lucas winning championship men. It's incredible. Yeah, I was trying to watch 2 games on the phone. You know, who's winning, and they were so close both games. Like, I don't know who I'm winning. I went and got my daughter's phone and watched both games, one on each phone. It's incredible to see what it has become. From where it was when I started to where it is now, it's night and day. But it's still our community. It's still what we do. We still put up our hands and volunteer as coaches. We still put up our hands and volunteer on game days. And Jane just spoke about the need for volunteers. It was no different back then to what it is now. We need to volunteer. If you want to get involved in an unbelievable program, volunteer. Put your hand up. Do something. I haven't read any of it anyway because James has already spent most of it. Whilst I had a lot more to say, James has touched on a lot of the stuff that's already been said. So I'll just say this. Our club has a soul. It has a heartbeat. It has personality. And those 3 things have come from the people that have been involved in the club for 50 years. Everyone in this room is now responsible to continue on doing... Oh, I'm just giving up. You've got to keep continuing on to finish off the work and to continue to build what 50 years has got to right now. I think I remember this part, it's okay. Probably not. The coaches, the volunteers, the committee members, keep creating memories for kids. Keep creating an environment where they feel safe, where they feel welcome, where they're protected, where they can be the people that they want to be. That's your job. Everyone in this room, that's our job. We've got to keep doing this. It's a little bit controversial right here. It's just sport. It's just a game. It's just a pastime. Yeah? I'm lucky enough to have one of the girls that I coach this year who works at the stadium, Jenna Mack. Last year I was coaching at another club, and they don't get this. They don't get what Werribee have got. That's what's frustrating me with where I am now. But I tell the kids, and I tell the players that I coach, don't let the best thing that you do in your life be on a basketball court. Just use that as a platform to be better humans, to be good people. And you'll go a long way. I should have had a few more beers. Typical basketballer, I've written all my notes on next year's plays. So point guard passes it to the 2. While I'm extremely proud of what the club has become and in the direction in which it's heading, Can I please ask that we never forget where we come from? Just before I jump off the stage, I just want to mention 4 people. Chris Slattery, life member. Kevin Hornblower, I think this Referees Association life member. Mel Logan, Association life member. And my mum. Jan Giblin. They would love to be here right now celebrating 50 years, I've got no doubt, especially Digger. He had his red pants on and his white shirt and a purple, his red pants, white shoes and a purple shirt, and he'd just think he's the coolest dude in the place, and he would be. We need to keep doing what they've done, what they started, what you're building, so that in 25 years or 50 years when I get a chance to come back, maybe 50 years, hopefully they'll fix the roadworks over the Westgate Bridge, but in 50 years I'll come back and the place will just be bigger, stronger and better than what it is now. So thank you for your time tonight. Enjoy the rest of your night. It's been an honour and a privilege to be here, and even more so to be able to get up and talk. Thank you very much.
I think it would be appropriate that we put our hands together for Adrian once again. That was really engaging, wasn't it?